Hey there, it's CJ Willie, and I'm cracking a pack today. Today I've got a Theros Beyond Death booster pack. So Theros Beyond Death is 3 sets back. Core 2021 releases widespread tomorrow. Before that was Ikoria, Lair Behemoths, and before that was Theros Beyond Death. So this set came out in January. It was a really fun set as a return to the original Theros block that had Theros, Born of the Gods, and Journey into Nyx. So it was a pretty fun set. As usual, my friends and I, we got a booster box. We got together, we drafted, we did 3 rounds of draft. Once we were done, we looked at the records, and we picked the best cards out of the pack. Now that it's in standard, I'm going to review this pack when I open it and the cards and see if I'm really playing it in some sort of standard deck. Obviously, it's going to be from a very casual Magic the Gathering point of view, kitchen table magic, if you will. So, I might have a different spin on it, since in our play group we don't spend a ton of money on rares or building the best decks in the world. We're not Friday Night Magic grinders or even Pro Tour grinders. We just like to play for fun. So a lot of my viewpoint is going to be based upon what I think of the cards in decks I would play right now. Deny the Divine is the first card. It's 3 mana, 2 and a blue. It's an instant. Counter target creature or enchantment spell. If that spell is countered this way, exile instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard. So pretty fun counter spell, especially if you're dealing with the gods or annoying creatures that just don't die and they keep coming back. This is a great way to exile, indestructible creatures. I don't currently play in any constructed deck. It's mainly limited. Next is Nyxborn Brute, 5 mana, 3 and 2 red. It's an enchantment creature Cyclops. No abilities, it's a 7/3. It was fun and limited, but I'm not playing it in any constructed or in the standard environment. Sentinel's Eyes, 1 white mana, enchantment or enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and it has vigilance. Escape for a single white mana. Exile 2 other cards from your graveyard. This is a pretty fun card and pretty cheap to recurse. I had fun with it in limited. I know that it's being played somewhat in, more competitive decks, but I don't currently have it featured in any deck. Vexing Gull, 3 mana, 2 and a blue. It's a creature bird. It's a 2/2. It has flash and flying. It's a fun kind of gotcha card. I did like it quite a bit in limited. I like playing blue-white flyers. It was in a blue-white flyers deck in one of the rounds where I went undefeated. I had Dream Trawler in that round, so obviously it was a relatively easy, round to kind of stall out and then get Dream Trawler on the board. But Vexing Gull was kind of a fun card for limited. Temple Thief, 2 mana, 1 and a black, human rogue. It's a 2/2. Temple Thief can't be blocked by enchanted creatures or enchantment creatures. Yeah, nifty little trick if you're dealing with, pesky enchantment decks, but really not something that I'm playing in a standard fun deck. It's a test and training, 2 mana, 1 and a green. It's enchantment aura. Enchant creature you control. When test and training enters the battlefield, draw a card. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has trample. Now this is a card that I am looking to play in a green-white enchantment deck with Starfield Mystic. Reducing the cost to a single green, drawing a card when it enters the battlefield, giving one of my creatures trample, I think is a pretty nifty trick. It's a relatively popular card as it's being reprinted in the current core set 2021. Next is Nylea's Huntmaster, 4 mana, 3 and a green. It's a Centaur Shaman at 4/3. When Nylea's Huntmaster enters the battlefield, target creature you control gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is your devotion to green. So devotion made a return from the original Theros block. The problem was I think it was quite a bit weaker this time around than when it was originally in block. With that being said, I feel that it's kind of weaker in some of the other, in green and some of the other colors. I do think it's especially strong in black, and in fact, I do have a mono black devotion deck that I'm playing in kind of the standard environment. Inspire Off, 4 mana, 3 and a green, instant, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn, except combat damage that would be dealt by enchanted creatures and enchantment creatures. Scry 2. Not even stapling Scry 2 onto this card makes it playable. I don't even think I played it in limited at all. It's too expensive for a card that does little, maybe buys you a turn, but you better be winning that next turn. Next is Brand Janet, 7 mana, 6 and a blue. It's a giant at 5/6. This spell costs 1 generic less to cast for each enchantment you control. I really love Brian Giant in the limited draft format. I featured it in a couple of decks where I had a lot of enchantment based themes, and it was pretty easy to get it out on turn 4. Then you had a 5/6 sitting on the battlefield. It's not anything that I think makes it in any current like standard deck that I'm playing, but for limited, it was pretty fun. Irreverent Revelers, 3 mana, 2 and a red. It's a Sadar. It's a 2/2. When Irreverent Revelers enters the battlefield, choose one, destroy target artifact, or Irreverent Revelers gains haste until end of turn. Now, there's plenty of other creatures that have the ability to destroy an artifact and enchantment, and playing this on turn 3 and giving it haste is not anything I'm interested in. I don't know that I really played it in limited, and I'm not going to play it in any constructed deck. Okay, first uncommon we have is Mire Triton. It's 2 mana, 1 and a black. It's a zombie merfolk. It has Death Touch. It's a 2/1. When Mire Triton enters the battlefield, put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard, and you gain 2 life. So I've been thinking about putting this in a life gain deck. I currently have a life gain deck that features Sorin, Vengeful Bloodlord. I think is the rare planeswalker from War of the Spark. It's a black-white life gain based deck. I think when rotation happens with Zendikar, I want to keep that around as a shell because I think there's some really good life gain payoffs in Core 2021. And I think Mire Triton will make its way into it. I believe I needed this card to have a play set, so I definitely like it having a little bit of mill ability where I can recurse stuff from my graveyard, but the life gain is going to be an added bonus. Blood Spirit is 2 mana, 1 and a black. Oh, 2 straight, 2 mana uncommons. It's a Satyr Berserker. It's a 1/1. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on Blood Aspirant. You can pay 1 and a red, tap it, sacrifice a creature or enchantment. Blood Aspirant deals 1 damage to target creature. That creature can't block this turn. I've really wanted to try a black-red sacrifice deck for quite a while, and it just seems that there are tiny pieces in each set that comes out with in the draft environment. It can kind of work, but it doesn't quite get there. I think going forward with rotation, there could be a black-red sacrifice deck out there. It seems that white-black is kind of infringing on that territory of sacrifice creatures, but I'd really like to see it stay in black-red, and maybe with Zendikar Rising, there'll be a few more things added to that black-red sacrifice deck. Our final uncommon is Netessian Wanderer, 2 mana. Look at that, all 3 of our uncommons were 2 mana spells, 2 mana creature spells. Netessian Wanderer is 1 and a green. It's a Satyr Scout. It's 1/3. Has Constellation. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a land card from among them and put that card into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. I really like the green-white enchantment kind of base deck. I'm trying to brew, a kitchen table constructed deck, just really casual fun deck with the rares, mythic rares that I've been able to collect on a green-white theme. I think I've got enough Starfield Mystics. I'd really like to get myself hopefully a Cetessan Champion to kind of round that deck out. It's a deck where I think I can put out a lot of creatures, go wide, use the Constellation and Enchantment Matters kind of theme, and make it a winning deck. So I'm interested in playing Satyr Scout because I think it helps with getting mana out on the board and being able to do a lot of things and utilizing Cetessan Champion's ability and Starfield Mystic to make my enchantments cheaper to kind of swarm the board with a green-white. All right, in our last Cracking Magic the Gathering pack, we got a really cool mythic, so I have to check out that video. Hopefully, let's get something really cool this time around. We got Bronzehide Lion. Okay, so it's green-white, kind of goes in the theme of what I'm trying to brew. It's a cat, continuation of 2 converted mana cost cards. Bronzehide Lion, like I said, is a cat. It's 1 green, 1 white. It's 3/3. You can pay green and a white. Bronzehide Lion gains indestructible until end of turn. When Bronzehide Lion dies, return it to the battlefield. It's an R enchantment with an enchant creature you control, and you can pay green-white. Enchanted creature gains indestructible until end of turn, and it loses all of its other abilities. I haven't really played with this card at all. a card that I thought was going to be awesome, because in original Theros you had Fleecemane Lion, which was the same converted mana cost, same power and toughness, but you'd monstrous it, make it a 4/4 indestructible hexproof. I feature a lot of Fleecemane Lion in a cat deck, a green-white cat deck that I play, and I was hoping this would be similar. I haven't really been able to play with it, get a feel of what it would do, but it's something I definitely want to try. I have another copy of it, and I'm hoping that I can put both copies in this green-white enchantment build that I want to put together. And then we have the cool full art forest and human soldier. My favorite card out of the pack, or the best card out of the pack, I think would be probably a race between Mire Triton, Nessian Wanderer, but I'm going to go with Bronzehide Lion. I know maybe it's a little easier pick because it's the rare in the pack, but it's a card that I really want to brew around. It's really cool because for 2 mana you get a 3/3. If it dies and you've got a creature on the battlefield, it comes back and gives that creature the ability to have indestructible until end of turn. So it kind of pays itself forward. So it's a card that I'm interested in playing. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like it, please subscribe and share. Also share with me in the comments what your favorite card or what you thought was the best card in the pack. Until next time, when I'm back to crack my next pack of Magic the Gathering.